Hey everybody, hope you guys are all healthy and safe. So this is the Realme X3 SuperZoom. And yeah, as the name suggests, this phone has a periscope zoom lens. So this is the standout feature of this phone. You're getting a periscope zoom lens in a mid-tier device that sells for around 500 euros. That's the price in Europe. When this launches in Asia and India later, it's gonna be a little bit cheaper. You can probably pick this up for like 400 bucks, maybe even 350. So before I begin with this first look, let's check out the unboxing. If you don't care about the unboxing at all, then just skip to this time right here. Okay, we're back. So before I continue, I want to first apologize for shooting yet another video in my room, because for those of you who have watched my videos before, I generally like to shoot my videos outside in Hong Kong as I'm walking out and about, because I think it's a little bit more dynamic to have a moving backdrop, to have a different background in every video. And some of my viewers have said that they enjoy, they're watching a video about a phone, but they're also seeing stuff outside, like life happening in Hong Kong, something that they might not see every day. I think YouTubers who only shoot the videos inside a controlled setting with the same background all the time, those are very boring, man. I don't want to be one of those people. So I want to shoot outside, but unfortunately the weather this week has been terrible. It's been sunny, cloudy for like 1 hour, and then suddenly it'd be pouring rain. And I didn't want to risk taking all my gear outside to shoot this video just for it to start raining, because this phone isn't IP68 water resistant. So anyway, Realme X3 SuperZoom. Like I said, this it's gonna sell in Europe for around 500 euro, and at this price you're getting really good value and a lot for what you pay for. As usual, this has been Realme's MO. Ever since the brand made its debut like 2 years ago, it's been offering you features that were in a flagship phone just a couple of months ago, but now suddenly it's in a Realme device for like half the price. Last year's Realme X, I believe, was one of the very first mid-tier phones to give you a pop-up camera and an in-display fingerprint reader. And then the Realme X50 Pro was probably the first phone under 400 bucks that gave you a 90 Hz refresh rate OLED display. And now the Realme X3 SuperZoom, you're getting a periscope zoom lens camera in a device that's, again, under 500 bucks or even 400 if you're in China. And you're getting a 120 Hz display panel. This is a 1080p panel, but it refreshes at 120 Hz, and it is really smooth and fast to my eyes. Now, there are some compromises that Realme had to make in order to keep the cost low. So first thing first is this panel. It's an LCD panel. It is not an OLED panel. So you notice that bezels around it are just a little bit thicker than bezels around OLED panels, because OLED panels are more flexible, so they can bend a little bit more to hide the bezels a little bit. And obviously blacks are not going to be as deep on this, and reds are not going to pop up the screen as much. But this is still a really good panel that gets relatively bright. As you can see here, I'm outside under heavy sun earlier, and you can still see the screen pretty well. Now, since this is an OLED panel, that means there is no in-display fingerprint reader. Instead, the fingerprint sensor, it's on the side. The good news is it's on the side, but right in the middle, so it is still very easy to unlock. It's not like the Samsung Galaxy S10e, where the fingerprint sensor is on the side, but like up here. That phone was really damn hard to unlock for me, because I hold my phone with my left hand. So as I already mentioned, there is no IP rated water resistance in this device. There's also no wireless charging, and the chip here is a Snapdragon 855 Plus instead of the Snapdragon 865, and there's no stereo speakers. You only get a mono speaker, but it still sound pretty good. Pretty loud, but you can muffle the sound if you cover the speaker grill. Oh, this is a 1080p panel too, in case you're wondering. The screen still looks pretty nice. So these are the areas that Realme had to compromise to give you this device at this price point. To be honest, the Snapdragon 855 Plus is more than powerful enough for like 99.9% of people out in the world. I don't really think we need the Snapdragon 865. The 865 is not a good chip this year because Qualcomm is forcing any phone brand who buys the 865 to also buy the 5G modem. Like they're a package deal. You cannot get 865 without paying for the 5G modem. That is why all the Snapdragon 865 phones have been relatively expensive this year. So for those of you who are complaining about the price of the Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro or the OnePlus 8 Pro, part of the blame goes to Qualcomm because they're forcing 5G into phones when 99% of us watching this don't have 5G right now. I don't have access to 5G. I would rather, like the OnePlus 8 Pro, not give me 5G and shave $150 off that price. Okay, so let's look at the cameras. Up here we have that Periscope zoom lens that allows you to get 5 times lossless zoom and digital zoom up to 60x. And right here, the second camera, it's a macro lens. And down here, it's a 64 megapixel Samsung ISOCELL GW1 sensor. It's the same sensor used in the Realme X3 Pro, so it's pretty good for this price point, but cannot compare to a flagship camera. During the day, you're gonna get great shots, and at night, if you use the night mode, images still turn out really nice because Oppo Realme's night mode is really good. But if you shoot the night mode at night, images are not that great. You're gonna get a lot of overexposure, like lights that are blown out, and just quite a lot of noise. This sensor struggles at night quite a bit unless you use Realme's night mode. And finally down here, it's an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera that gives you a field of vision of 119 degrees. And 8 megapixel on a wide angle camera, it's fine on a mid-tier device. But on a flagship, that's a little bit low. And again, if you compare this wide angle camera to something like on a Huawei P40 Pro, you're going to see major differences. But at this price point, not much to complain about. The wide angle camera gets the job done. And then around the front, you have 2 selfie cameras inside this hole punch. You have a 32 megapixel selfie camera that is really good. This is among one of the best selfie cameras that I've tested. And an 8 megapixel wide angle selfie camera that obviously you only want to use if you're taking pictures of a group of friends because you lose a lot of details. Now the phone runs Android 10 with Realme UI on top, but let's be real here. Realme UI is very similar to Oppo's Color OS, and that's a good thing because Oppo's Color OS is probably my second favorite Android skin right now, behind OnePlus's Oxygen OS. So that means the software experience here is really good. You have all the shortcut gestures that you can think of. You have double tap to lock the screen, which I really like. You have double tap to wake the screen, another useful feature. You have all these gestures such as 3 fingers swipe down to grab a screenshot, or 3 fingers swipe up to go into split screen mode. So I'm just a fan of Color OS of Realme UI. I'm not gonna spend too much more time talking about it because this is like the 8th or 9th Oppo Realme phone I've tested in the past 6 months. So I've already talked about Color OS Realme UI a lot. Just please go watch my older videos if you want to learn why I think Realme UI/Color OS is my second favorite Android skin. It's clean, it's minimal, that's all I gotta say. Now there's a 4200 mAh battery inside that, even running the phone at 120 Hz, it's been enough to last me all day. Now, barely. Like I would leave the house at 10 AM and by the time I get back or finish the day at like 11 PM or midnight, it will be down to about 10-15%, but that's because of 120 Hz. If I drop this down to 60 Hz, which this phone gives you the option to do so, then you're gonna get battery life that goes into the second day easily. Now overall construction is nice. This is Gorilla Glass 5. It feels very nice in the hand, and I like this matte texture that's still grippy. It's not slippery. See, the phone kind of sticks to my fingers, but it does not attract fingerprints. And I like this little reflection when light hits it at certain angles. This is a pretty good looking phone. The only nitpick I would have that betray this phone's mid-tier roots is that the display panel, it's completely flat, and you'll see a little rough edge right here because this manufacturing process, it's doesn't cost as much as manufacturing for a flagship phone. If you look at a flagship phone like a Huawei P40 Pro, you can run your finger through any part of the phone and the glass blends into the chassis seamlessly. Like you cannot tell that there's like a disruption right there unless you really look carefully. But here you can clearly see where the display panel ends, like right here, and then where the aluminum chassis begin, you know, like a clear two-part edge, whereas these phones are a little bit more premium feeling. They're more like a unibody, one piece. That's a minor nitpick. I think for the most part, when you're buying phones for under 500 bucks, you're gonna expect this type of screen. The only exception is the Honor 30 Pro Plus, which I tested yesterday. This is a phone that's under 500, 600 bucks, but you get that seamless construction that you get from an iPhone or a Samsung Galaxy Note or Huawei P and Mate series. So that's about the only nitpick I have with the phone. Otherwise, everything performs great. And one big advantage this phone has over the Honor device is that this phone runs Google without any issues. Anyway, so that's about it for this first look. I'm gonna test the phone more and have a review coming later on, maybe in a week or so. So thanks for watching. This is the Realme X3 SuperZoom. And oh, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, because you know, with the pandemic right now, everybody's losing income, and 2 of my writing jobs just decided to cut some of the pay. So I'm making less money than I did before. So hopefully my YouTube channel can grow so I can make some revenue back here, because obviously we're all, you know, doing this for a living, and if my channel doesn't grow, then I can never make enough money from YouTube. So I appreciate it if you guys subscribe and hit that bell notification icon. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Stay healthy.